Wewe pia jaribu. The good thing with the politics of our age, of our day and age ni pia saa zingine ni fitu ukiuza tu sera zako. Na wase wanaweza kupatia chance. We've seen it happening around the world. And in Kenya.
There's a story of a man, Kuresoi North, MP, anaitwa Alfred Mutai. Apparently he started from burning charcoal.
What? Allah?
To MP. You can say that even with a man like Jalas Maze.
Man.
Yeah, and there's so many other stories that can be told. So, me, I think one of the good looks is seeing a lot of young people wakichukua this thing. A lot of women wakichukua this thing, man.
Big up.
There's one county many jazz, Maze.
Nakuru, eh?
I'm quite impressed, Maze. Apo governor.
Yeah, who thought?
Apo kiona MP wa Naivasha pia.
Senator,
there are bunch of ladies.
Karanja.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, I mean, Nakuru, you done the thing. Like,
guys.
Counties zingine pia bado the things are being counted, so wacha tuachane na hiyo mambo. We're going to be speaking politics. But Kevin, there's something I want to tell you.
Please tell me.
Kuna country inaitwa Peru.
Peru.
Para. I'm loose. Sasa leo tumeweka Peru on the map.
Ala?
President wao kumbe yeye anatry kuatoa from the map. Hey,
what you talking about, man?
Unafikiri corruption inakuanga tu a Kenyan thing? In Peru, in Peru, the sitting president amekuwa na a lot of issues, As in his presidency has been met with a lot of crazy things. Can you imagine in just 1 year Peru has seen 3 prime ministers.
What?
In just 1 year.
What?
3 prime ministers. And 4 prime ministers, and then 7 interior ministers. As in Matiangi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Why don't you the right one?
Can you imagine?
What we need to
On
do?
top of that, kesi yake ya corruption bado inaendelea kama amekaa kwa kiti.
Endo sitting.
Na watu wa Peru para hawajali. Jana police waliraid nyumba ya president.
What is going on?
Anaitwa Pedro Castillo. Sasa akikuwa na jina kama Castillo unafikiria hata still
maze jina kayo jo.
Alleged.
Kwa hivyo investigations ina go down huko, wanaweza mshika. 5
criminal investigations including graft. He has survived 2 impeachment. Which alikuwa anaitwa Wambora.
Oh no, you didn't.
He has survived 2 impeachments. The only person I know who can survive an impeachment and continue ruling things is Wambora. But the Wambora aligetiki tu ameambiwa.
Asko sure anafa ku clarify by the that's a good question, but nashuko ameget. Unajua story ya kuraid umesema wameraid keja yake.
Yeah, maze.
So
sitting president.
Another ex-president aliraidiwa keja yake pia. Malago.
Oh yeah, Donald Trump, man.
My question is, sasa
nakasema you guys shameless, they're the
Sheila, can you imagine now at the next government wanna raid how
what are you saying? What are you saying? Unasema nini?
Unanisikia poa?
Bro, I don't know, man. As much as
impossible.
I don't want to say impossible.
Raid an ex-Kenyan president's house.
No, this is not an ex.
No,
this is a current sitting.
Current.
Peru as in Uchali ndio president.
Are you is happen Kenya?
As in kama usai ukipata nini visa ya kwenda. Nikasema mazee na amesema wingie. Yeye amekupata nafasi wingie country. My friend. So, I mean there's a lot of things we can learn from such countries that corruption si kitu ya fununu huko kwa base. Corruption ni kupeleka paka kwa huyo mwenye amefanya hiyo corruption kwa nyumba yake. Can you imagine the police raiding a sitting president's house?
Hiyo inamaanisha mazee, yani you can easily disrespect the president, unaweza disregard. Na unajua pia si poa yani country kai iko hivyo. That's why you need good leaders because the country can go to the dogs. Isare mazee, we saw what happened in Haiti. Gangsters wakaenda wakamadam head of a state.
Can you imagine?
In Haiti mazejo magangsters wa mandudhi.
Anywho, that I found that very interesting because ni shena ma MVP mniambie, mnafikiri Kenya kitu gani inaweza fanyika? Hati kuna corruption. Hati nani na meiba? Wamegula? Amegula. Tuende kwa nyumba yake mazi.
Matiangi straight in your country. Very dangerous. So let us beat this spring here.
The question is, where is he getting his nani anampatia hiyo mandate kwenda ku investigate? Kuja ni investigate.
Manze. That means somebody out. Maybe it's the military.
It's going to be funny. Anyway, right now, let's get right into Mjadala. In studio, of course, we got our very special guest. Na leo, of course, tunataka kuongea juu ya the cost of losing an election. Kwa sababu hiki tu si rahisi maze. Kuna wase wengi wamevai. Na kuna wengine wamevai, as in wameiva, wameingia. Na kuna wengine wenye walivai, hawajavai. Yani hawajaiva. Hiyo inamaanisha wanaenda home.
Sad.
Lakini, there's a lot wameput in emotionally, I'm sure they have carried babies.
Time. Kissed babies.
Right? Shown up at Rurashios. Gone for funerals.
We saw an incumbent akitembea mkutupu.
Bra, kuna mwingine hata alikata kitunguu kwa nyumba ya mtu. Aka vacuum carpet. Right? Akakununulia drinks.
Akashika simu ulipiga.
Bra, muka have deep conversations ukamwambia all your emotional baggage. Aki mazee. Alafu au kumvutia. And in studio here we have Bina Maseno, Executive Director wa Badili Africa. Karibu sana Morning Vibes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, today the conversation is a day in my life after I lost the election. And I want us to take it from here. In case you've just tuned in, kuna chali anaitwa Festus. Anaitwa Festus nani? Anaitwa Festus Kivinji. Papa alikuwa na run place inaitwa Meru ward. MCA. And Papa officially alipata results mazina. It wasn't looking good. And this is what he posted on TikTok.
About 3 years ago, I started a political journey. That is in Meru ward, vying for MCA. The start was very well and even the ending, but people are not good. People of Meru, I don't know, but I really did my best. But you people are ungrateful. Kama sijui siasa ni mbaya basi. Because I've utilized all my resources. I've been saving even my help since I was in campus. Saving for these elections. But now, I was leading from the opinion polls. But last minute, you just decide to give somebody because of money, because of last minute. That's very unfair to me. As I study here, my account reigns zero. I put all my efforts there thinking, you are giving me this. And you people are liars. Why did you lie to me? Calling me Mheshimiwa, yet you knew you'd never give me your votes. Used to call me in your base. Oh, mtoto wangu anaenda shule, oh, nini. I've done a lot for you people. Until even some polling stations have not secured even a single vote. Why? And if you see that feeling, I've done a lot. That's not fair. Even God will judge you people. Telling me that 2027 will be better. Will be better in which way? People will come with money. I can't promise that I will have enough money for you people. I really feel disappointed and heartbroken. I feel as if I should quit politics once and for all. It's really sad. It's really sad. Using all my resources, everything that I had. But it's okay. Life must continue. I have a life to live. Politics is not a matter of life and death. But it's okay. Now, if you have your Arambe, please keep it for yourself. If you have your what, keep that for yourself. At least for now. I need a break. And even up to now, there are some people texting me and calling me. Oh, nitumie 50, nitumie so moja, I voted for you. Where? No. You people siasa ni mbaya. I feel like quitting kabisa. Hata Kiraito mwenyewe, mumekataa kuchagua yeye. Kiraito has done a lot.
There you've had Papa Festus. And just off the bat, guys, lady, can you hear this man's pain?
Yes.
You can hear his pain, sindio?
I can hear his pain and I can relate with his pain.
All right. Yeah. So Bina Maseno in studio with us. We're getting into the Mjadala to public opinion. Na leo tunaongea juu ya the real cost of losing an election. Kumbuka kuna politicians wengi leo who'll be crying because they lost. lie to me. Yeah, love the vibes, man.
Vibes.
Now, of course, tunaingia kwa a day in my life, and leo tunaongea na Bina Maseno. Baby, I like your name, Bina Maseno.
Thank you so much.
Hey, jina fiti sana, Bina.
Bina, it's unique.
Bina ni short form ya Obina. You know I had to come with the nonsense.
Not enough of your name.
Combox is trying to ensure that hatuna stress. Unajua wakati wa siasa.
Lakini honestly, is that enough of your name? Ama ni ya kizungu?
Yes.
Bina Maseno. I love it.
Actually, Bina means dance. It's just that I'm not a good dancer as Combox.
I got you, I got you.
So, yeah, she got me.
Hata Kevin when linge show hakuwa na dance sasa
nilikuwa mshy by the shit napenda kudance.
Nilikuwa mshy sana. Sasa utafunguka tu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
For the listener, kumbuka it's time for Mjadala. Na leo ni kusikia tu let's just have a conversation. Kama kuna kitu yote unataka kuongeza, tumia #Kwambox and Kev. Ama on Facebook we're streaming live on Vibes Radio KE. Now, I don't want us to play Festus clip again because najua wase wameisikia, but from that clip, you know what, I'm going to play it for those who haven't heard it. Yeah, man, because when I saw this video yesterday, and this was after we had already prepared to have this conversation, it really resonated with me because because you know, we focus on the winner. After this election, watu wana focus on nani? Tunataka tukuona nani ameshinda. Hakuna mtu anakea juu ya au the losers, right? Nobody cares. Ni kucheka, nani memes, nani people rubbing it in your face that you lost, right? I don't think it's easy, and that's why we invited you, Bina, to share with us. And we're going to start off just by listening to Papa Festus, who was running in Bew Ward, and Anaitwa Festus Kithinji. He lost, and this is what he had to tell people on TikTok.
You people are liars. Why did you lie to me? Calling me Mheshimiwa, yet you knew you'd never give me your votes. Used to call me in your base. Oh, mtoto wangu anaenda shule, oh, nini. I've done a lot for you people. Until even some polling stations have not secured even a single vote. Why? And if you see that feeling, I've done a lot. That's not fair. Even God will judge you people. Telling me that 2027 will be better. Will be better in which way?
You know, Sheila. Before Bina make comment, vile anabonga hapo hivyo hiyo donation yake vile anasema you people have done a lot for you. It sounds like a parent who's just ignorant about what's happening on ground. Mimi nasema tu yani there's a bit of entitlement though. I'm smashed with mwana huruma.
But unajua si tunaongea kutoka nje. Bina, for everybody who's looking at that video, nasema bro, and let me just read you some of the comments that people are saying up on Facebook. Cow shows anasema mwambie this is Kenya. Babu Kenya. Lion anasema mwambie hii ni Meru massive hatupangwingwi. Joga hapa anasema yani msee anapigwa character development mchana. Pole. You can see and he's laughing, right? Pole brother, siasa ni uongo mtupu. Braza, that's from Gire Macau. And mwingine amesema Otachi anasema sorry bro, hata mimi nimeachana na siasa. Sydney Page anasema and you're making it more worse when you publicly share the inside truth. But this is his truth.
Yeah, so I'll slightly disagree because you know when you're going through pain and disappointment, there are all sort of thoughts that are running through your mind because I personally remember when you're actually campaigning, you know the way you're saying that he feels like he's entitled. In fact, the citizens feel like they're entitled, you know, when it comes to your time, you know, they want your time, they want your resources, they want everything, like everything from you, right? I remember I never even had enough resources when I was running for
Ulikuwa na run wapi?
Nilikuwa na run Kayole. Oyole. Nakwambia 1960. Sorry. I was running for MCA.
Ilikuwa which year?
2013. And I remember I was in second year campus. First of all, by the mere fact that I presented myself to run for political office, I lost my scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I lost my scholarship because I was being supported. I've been supported all through from my primary education, from my high school education. So the people who are supporting me were like, you're not serious. Literally, I mean, how are we sponsoring you to go study, you know, like you've been begging, you fundraise from well-wishers, and then now you're entering politics, you know. So I lost my scholarship. So the stakes were already high by the mere fact that you've made that decision, because it means if you don't win, how am I going to go back to people to start asking them, Nyaji, naomba tena mnisupport nirudi shule already?
Lakini Bina,
hiyo ndio reaction yangu.
Kwani ukujua uko second year, uko hapa umestruggle na unajua indio kitu yenye si ushinda tukiwa kudiscuss. Kuna politics na kuna leadership.
Yes.
So ni nini ilikuwa na kudrive ukijua very well that the stakes are so high?
Yes.
And you still going in?
So I've been born and brought up in Kayole. You know, I've grown up in Kayole in a community where up I think until now maji unayonanga after 2 weeks. You know, like your taps are always dry. You know. Growing up, I lost 4 friends to crime. 4 friends, okay? My 2 friends, mob justice, 2 were shot dead.
Apo
Oyole. You know? People I studied with in primary school, okay? So, and then just poor access to basic services, you know, poor access to basic services. You grow up looking at how your mother is struggling kuza kwa kibanda ya mboga to take you to school. And that's the story of so many other women, not only in Kayole, but in majorly informal settlements. Women actually fuanguo so that you can go to school. Literally, that's the story of so many other mothers, you know. And at times, you know, you grow up seeing this pain, living this pain, and you're like, I need to do something, you know. And then you have leaders who get into leadership, and then they don't even prioritize the needs of the community, you know. It's just like right now, even if we're talking about infrastructure, people are hungry. So what are we doing about that? People need food on their table. People are starving.
So ilikuwa passion, yani imetoka kwa roho yako?
You know, like it has always been a passion, because the challenges I saw growing up is what fueled my passion for community development. And for me, getting into this leadership position was an opportunity to contribute to community development.
Lakini Salome umeenda kwa grao maze, na hii ndio story yenye tumeshinda tukisikia hapa wase in different parts of the country, but it's not a Nairobi thing. Mhesha alikuja hapa kubonga na wase, lakini hakuacha kakiri, so watu hakumsikia. Now tukiangalia yako wewe hapo sasa, hiyo si hata kuna pesa, scholarship ndio imeenda. Ulikuwa na expect unaongea na watu aje? What was your experience kukiongelesha wase kwa grao? You said they want everything from you.
Let me tell you.
And you're very young.
First of all, you're young. I was 22. You know, I was 22 turning 23. Okay. I was 22. So half the time you meet people, even when you don't have money, okay? Even when you don't have a single cent. One time I stepped out to campaign, and this woman was like, me, I don't even want your money. Just give me food. Just give me food. Me and my 3 kids are starving. I'm like, imagine, ma'am, I'm just like your daughter. I'm fighting so that tomorrow you don't actually have to starve, right? She's like, but I don't have food. I just want food for my children. And I didn't have money that day, for sure. Do you know, in the evening, she came to my home with her 3 kids. She said, I met you during the day. You said you don't have food, but I know at least your home can't miss food. So I've come with my 3 kids.
So she's coming to eat Kenya uko nayo kwa nyumba yako.
Yeah, she's like, at least I know in your home you won't miss food. So she's come with her 3 kids, and I was staying with my parents. Okay? So now she's brought her 3 kids at home.
Sasa umeleta watu wengine kwa nyumba ya mzazi.
You know, you know,
aspirations zako.
And then from 6 a.m. people are in your home. They're like, Mhesha unalala na hujachukua kiti bado. From 6 a.m. Never mind. You slept at 1 or at 2, you know, like at 2 a.m.
What are you doing? What take us through? Yani, so umeenda kulala 1 a.m. kwa sababu umekukidu. Kwa sababu hata Jalasa alituambia ilikuwa kumitwa say very early in the morning and very late in the night.
So you have to take stock of your day. So number 1, after every other day, you have to meet your campaigners. You have to meet your strategy team. How was the day? What are people saying? Where do we go tomorrow? You know, where do we need to capitalize? How do we split the teams? So that you're deciding that in the night. And then usually I would wake up at 5 a.m. because I'm targeting Mama Mboga kwa stage. I'm targeting the guys who are going to industrial area, you know, who come from Kayole. So from 5 a.m. we've split ourselves. 5 a.m. So it means if it's 5 a.m. I woke up at 4:30 so that I can target the people who are going to the market, the guys who are going to work, who will never be there during the day to listen to my manifesto. Okay,
so unaenda hapo kwa sababu una do sasa,
kwa sababu sina
una billboard, una poster,
lazima niamke mapema niwe
so unaongelesha watu hapo azin wewe ni aje,
kupisha tu kwa barabara
wasio kwa stage.
Let me ask you, umesema ulikuwa na team, your campaign team, were they volunteering ama ulikuwa unawalipa?
Yeah, they were volunteering, but you see at the end of the day you have to provide food.
Of course, yeah, transport.
And that is money, right? So you have to provide food. So because we don't have money, you know, me, I'm not like those politicians who will come during the day with like you know, a big car, then you have like a convoy, then you're stopping somewhere. So for me and my team, we have to wake up very early in the morning. So tuko pale kwa stage, msee hapo anangoja tu gari, mwingine ako na gunia yake hapo anangoja gari ende marikiti kwa soko. I'm like, oh, habari asubuhi.
And your competitor alikuwa nadu?
Sorry?
Your competitor?
My competitor, yes, atagoja organiziwe and then atakuja around what? Mchana tu ama majioni. Amekuja na music, amekuja na gari, amepata watu, ashapangiwa watu. You see, now for me and my team, we have to do the hard job.
So mtu, the average Kenyan anaangalia, anaona huyo mwenye akona mbwembwe, huyo ndio leader. Huyo ndio mwenye anaweza beba aspirations.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu venye wewe umejipackage, hauna gari, hauna handout, hauna poster, haupati watu chakula, hiyo sasa hauwezi kuwa mhesh.
Yeah, and then they're thinking if you don't have, you're the one who's likely to go and take our resources because you actually don't have.
So now, Kevin, I want to come back to what she has said. And you remember when you started this clip, you said, when we started this link, ulisema, hawezi resonate na umse kwa sababu ya vitu zenye anasema. Now, Bina ametupatia idea of what inakaa kwa grao. Yani, kwa sababu we always ask, why give these people handouts? Is it possible to avoid giving handouts completely?
It's tricky.
Umesikia watu wanamkia kwa nyumba yake na anajua very well hata ana kitu yote kupatiana.
Unajua sasa difference ni shida. The reason nilikuwa nasema ule mguys ni entitled is because which is okay, kama una handout una do ama tuseme kuna do kiasi and then I give you, uniambia wewe kuna shida ya food ama kuna matanga and then I give you surely says expect your loyalty sasa imekuwa tu hivyo, nimekubaya hivyo because umse alikuwa anasema and I've helped you guys, nimewalipia sijui mambo ya school fees, matanga, and this is what you people, this is what you do.
Should he feel entitled?
Is he entitled? Surely is he expecting too much?
I don't think it's entitlement because like I said, we express ourselves differently when we're going through pain, and I think this conversation today is very important because majority of us never look at the mental health of political aspirants. You know, you never look at it. Let me tell you, imagine when you're campaigning, you can't do anything else. Okay, number one, you cannot do anything else. You can't do any other job. Every day uko kwa grau. So even if you have an opportunity, you cannot take it, right? And that is why I had to take a break from university because you cannot even focus in class.
So tunaweza sema okay, because Kevin brings a very interesting point, which I think ni the ideal situation.
Yes.
Tukika hapa kwa radio, hata unakumbuka Jalasa alituambia from journalism to ground ni very different. Na unasema that you know, the person should have a level of entitlement because of the sacrifices zenye ana make kwanza, na hawezi avoid kukupatia hizo, ni kwa sababu hata akikuja kuongelesha the public inahitaji umsaidie. And in that desperate situation of that mother who she met, say for example kwa barabara, right, anataka kumuongelesha juu ya sera zake, huyo mother anamwambia nipatie kakiru,
na labda na kura yako
na aseme enyewe sina, alafu hiyo jioni show up kwa mlango yako. How do you handle that situation?
Unampatia food, unatafuta food, because mimi nilikuwa nafikiria
sasa ndio nakuuliza Kevin, imagine kwa scenario yake alikuwa shule, sawa, nimekupatia kenye niko nayo, but wewe hauta nimekupatia kwanza kutoka kwa nyumba ya mzazi wangu na hatuna kitu yote, hauta expect as a human being, not as an idealist, that hiyo ni a commitment from you.
I think what I'm expecting is you're giving me your time. You're not really giving me your vote. Unanipatia time yako and your attention, because it's one thing first of all kupata hiyo audience. It's another thing because ni hard kupata audience ya raia. I usually believe that because there are other people who are also looking for that same audience. So the first thing is aso vile urizoni, okay, first tukule ndio tuongee sasa.
All right, let's I want to hear what Kenyans have to say about this. I'm going to open the phone lines. I'm going to take maybe 5 phone calls just here. Kenya mnasema, of course conversation yetu tuko nayo ni what is the true cost of losing an election, na tunaongea juu hiyo story ya handout, right? In the event, kwa sababu chali ukisikia nini yake anasema watu nilikusaidia, muliniita kwa maharambe zenu, kwa you know baby kila kitu muliniita. Na unasikia Bina anasema ukienda hapo kutama kwa grao ku campaign, Mazee sisi wa Kenya na tumeshinda tukiongea hapo mazee huu muhesha kuacha kitu yote so tusikii mambo yake, right? What is it right to kusema mazee wa Kenya wamemlet down na wamemdisappoint? Sikiza venye alisema.
You people are liars. Why did you lie to me? Telling me, calling me mheshimiwa, yet you knew you'd never give me your votes. Used to call me in your base. Oh, mtoto wangu anaenda shule, oh nini. I've done a lot for you people. Until even some polling stations have not secured even a single vote. Why? And if you see that feeling, I've done a lot. That's not fair. Even God will judge you people. Telling me that 2027 will be better. Will be better in which way?
All right, that is Papa Festus Kidinji alikuwa na vai huko Mbeu Ward. Sana kuuliza wewe kama MVP. Maoni yako ni gani? Was he right to cry and say niliwapatia hii na hata mkanidanganya? Does he have a right? What are your thoughts? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer.
Yep. This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.
Mr. Lion.
Halo.
Sema unaonaje?
Amiki tutamwambia ni kwanza inauma but tabidi azoe. Atena ameuliza why namwambia ni human nature. Alafu nimwambie kila mtu ako na maoni yake, si lazima utupe do tukuchague ka.
Okay. And I was kind of getting his point. Good morning.
Hello Wednesday.
Hey, tunaongea na nani?
Naongea na kusapa hivi kutoka Karen.
Nako maoni ni gani? Nako kupatia time ufikirie alafu tutakupigia. Oti?
Hello?
Hey.
Good morning, Oti sema.
Pambox.
Eh.
Sasa unajua hii mtu akitafuta kura. Ni kama mwanaume amepata msichana mrembo, unasikia?
Yeah.
Ameinvest akijua huyu nimewahi. Huyu ndo dakika za mwisho roho ya huyu msichana iko kwake. Huyo mwanaume wanga na feel yani vibaya sana. Ni kama hivi. Mtu ametumia pesa nyingi akijua kwamba hii kitu mimi nachukua. Kumbe wale watu walikuwa nao ni watu fake, unaona, wako upande ule mwingine wanakuja kwake kukula pesa. Sasa huyu aspirant angejua, angekuwa mjanja angetumia pesa, angewawish na ile sera zake. Lakini siasa za Kenya watu waangalie sera, watu wengi wanaangalia pesa. Sasa hii ndio shida, ndio unaona sasa watu wengi hawaamini ile matokeo ambayo inatokea baadaye.
So Otini kuulize in this example ya Uchali anasema as in inauma, ametumia kila kitu na unasikia Bina anasema kwa grau, especially the political situation ya Kenya, mtu akikuona, I think maybe there's also the levels of desperations of poverty kwa grau. Mtu akiona MP, akiona MCA, governor, ana automatically ashaona chakula, ashaona ya macho, ka lunch. Now, how can a politician avoid that? And do we as the public play a part kwa kudanganya ama nini ma MP na ma MCA na ma governor?
Sasa mimi kwa mox upande wangu naona hivi. Katika kupiga campaign hii mambo na kuhongana ingepigwa, yani tungetengeza katiba hii mambo ya kupeana pesa ingepigwa marufuku kabisa. Ukipatikana unahongana ni kama labda uchukuliwe sheria, unaona? Manake ni hatari, ni hatari sana. Kwanza mwanasiasa anayehongana huyu mtu kwanza ni mbaya kabisa. Akiingia tu mtakula mtoto, mtakaa juu ya mawe mpaka aregeshe pesa yake, unaona? Na ile pesa anahonga, ile pesa mpaka chunguzi umetoka wapi.
Okay. Thank you so much, Oti.
Yeah, man.
We're going to take another call from Lucy, who's in Mwega. Lucy, good morning.
Morning, kwamba.
Hebu ingia kwa hii conversation, Lucy.
Wallahi inauma lakini tabidi aje. Unajua nini kwamba? Sasa nilitega. Kinga kwa grau alikuwa anapitia kila mtedo hadi watu wadogo, lakini sana huyo mtoi ana kura. Anampea doza nini alafu na kuwa. Tulikuwa tunapiga line hadi na sasa anaona hata piga line na mtukaa mimi nitamsukuma. Sasa unaona hadi kuna benye hiyo sasa hakuwa anapata hizo doza, kuna veyani ya izimsambia. Sasa unateki itabidi next time uangalie hadi age.
Okay, kama unapatiana angalia pia age. Let's finish off in Athi River. We got Mike. Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
Join the conversation.
Mimi nasemaje? unaona venye alifanya anything it takes kupata hiyo kiti. Hadi mtu anafanya anything it takes apate food kwa meza. So atachukua hii hongo amchoche. Apate food kwa nyumba, lakini later on anajua atapatia nani. Juu mtu anamchocha ni kelele tu. Ataenda akalie mawe, arudishe pesa zake. Lakini kuna mtu anakuja na muzia maoni fiti. So atachagua mtu wa maoni fiti, lakini pesa atarokota tu akule.
Na tumecheki situation kama hiyo in many places.
Mike, now finally with that what you've said, hiyo inamaanisha tukigo into the next election wase hafai kupatiana handouts kwa sababu clearly it doesn't equate to the vote.
Bana.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hizo mambo ya handouts ziishe.
All right. Let's take one final one from Kayole pale ulikuwa una run. Sensimilia.
Masemaje?
Tushasema mazee wingi kwa conversation, unaonaje?
Mimi nasemaje? Mimi namwambia inakuanga hivyo. Agoje tizo miaka zingine 5 ajaribu tu tena.
Lakini nikuulize Sensimilia. Msi anaweza kuja imagine Hesh tuseme kwa box ni na run on the morning vibes party ticket, right? Nikuja hapo mtaani. Nataka kubongesha vijana hapo yoleni waambie juu ya sera zangu fiti. Nini itafanya hao vijana wa congregate hapo?
Honestly speaking.
Sasa okay, ndio uchalia analia maze.
Sasa unajua alipewa watu hawana kura yakasa watu wenye wako na kura.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Very interesting thoughts we're hearing from Kenyans, and you can tell that a lot of Kenyans understand that the handout culture is not good. It doesn't necessarily equate to if you give me something, I'm not going to give you my vote. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The damage has been done. Festus is crying, right? Now let's talk about the day after you realize, or the day you realize that you've lost, which happened to you.
Yeah.
Right?
So first of all, I remember when I was at the polling center, and at the polling center, you find you're there with your agents. So the results are streaming in from the different polling stations.
Yeah.
And I remember that day, it was actually a very, very hot evening, but I was actually in my jumper because I was freezing, you know. And even as the results were streaming in, for me, I was crying already because I was imagining what I've been through to come to this day. And then I'm like, first of all, I have lost my scholarship. And then thoughts were streaming through my mind on the day that someone almost stripped me in a campaign trail.
What?
And
when
I remember,
as in
like someone, I finished campaigning in a crowd, in a plot. And when I was trying to leave, someone tried to pull down my skirt. And when I tried to scream, I'm like, who's that? Mtu ako like, apana, tulia, watasema uko na temper. Someone's trying to strip me and they're telling me if I scream, watasema niko na temper. Ati sasa inakuanga hivyo. Ati haikosi hao ni wasewa, the other camp wametumwa,
I'm assuming uko na bodyguards.
Basi bodyguards walikuwa mabeshte wangu.
Anatoa bodyguards wapi na hata scholarship.
Walikuwa mabeshte wangu, and one of them ndio mwenye alikuwa short, I began by saying I've lost 4.
One of them
was short. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Because I didn't know he was part of the gangs that were being hunted down in the community. Because to me, he was a friend. And he was like, Bina manzi, lazima tuchangamke campaign yako. Tumetoka far, lazima I'll be coming every day in the morning to give you security. That's the only way, because me sina do Bina.
And security is key. Even in this election, we've been talking about security.
Especially for female aspirants. Can you imagine?
And my friends were like, Bina, cause atuna do, na tunakwanga tu home, atuna job, we'll be coming to give you security. That's the only way we can contribute. So one of them was shot, I'm so sorry for that. So I went to report the matter, and I remember at the polling station, I was even more shocked at the polling station at the time, because the cop asked me, ulikuwa area gani? Ni area party X, as if it matters. It doesn't matter, So from that day I knew I'm on my own. So for me, well, I'm at the polling center, I'm recalling all this experiences.
Let me get this straight. When you went to record the incident of GBV,
yes,
you went to the police station and the guy asked you which party.
Nilikuwa area gani? Is it for party X or party Z?
Meaning
what does that
meaning? If you're in party Z, you should have expected it. If you're in party X,
so
you see what I mean? Like you should know, like you should expect it, And it's so sad because GBV in politics is looked at as the cost of participating in the political space or elections. You know, like we've normalized GBV in election as the cost of participating, especially for women, and that is one of the biggest deterrent for women actually stepping out, because number one, you don't even have money to pay goons, and you need goons. You know, you need goons to protect you, because half the time someone is trying to disrupt your campaign, someone is trying to hurt you. I remember even one time receiving texts, and I didn't even go to the grau. Mtu aliniambia ati loki kuja grau tutakuonyesha, will gang rape you. I didn't go to the community. So when my aunt came and my friends, they were like, you should have texted back and show them your capacity for violence. You know, I remember even calling some of the aspirants and they were telling me, Bina, you need to learn to show your capacity for violence. I'm just like, how
what
do
does that mean?
You know what I mean?
That's
what I'm saying.
Like,
you should text back and someone knows, you know someone to joke with.
But Bina, let's talk about when you found out you had lost, because ukisikia wa Kenya wanasema ai inakuanga hali ya maisha mazee kukaa strong.
Yes,
being strong. How did you accept the results?
So towards morning, the results were announced and I had lost. And I remember as much as guys were congratulating me for coming this far, I was like, no, you don't understand. As long as you've not won, even if you're number 2, it doesn't matter, you know. So I'm going back home. I'm like, how am I going to go back to school? You know, I'm going back home. I'm also remembering wale watu walikuwa nakujanga home every day 6. Wanaambia Bina, ground imekutambua. Ground imesema ni wewe, you know. Ground inasema mbazu wako like sasa baba ya mheshimiwa hata wana venye yako, you know, because then guys are even scrutinizing the money you're giving now in church. If you're not actually even during offering ama when there's a campaign ka utoi pesa uko like baba ya mheshimiwa sasa hii ni pesa gani, you know, guys want to know you're giving.
But Bina, let me ask you something. I want to touch on a different angle. Two things bado kwa hiyo topic. So was there polling a poll that shows maybe ungekuwa unashinda, and was hiyo singekuwa time poa kupull out, because if you're saying you're crying, it's like you expected you're not going to win. So somebody can imagine anasema sunge pull out mapema basi.
No, you know, when you're actually campaigning, everyone has their own crowd. Everyone has their own crowd, because you see, even when you go to campaign in a market, you know, people celebrate you. Ukitoka, they celebrate another person. You see what I mean? Hata ukienda kwa church, you've seen even mobilizers. They mobilize for you. Ukitoka, they're mobilizing for another aspirant, and they have the same energy.
So it's the same people.
Literally, they have the same energy.
Alafu, the final question for me, quick one, ni, you know, there's an article I was reading this morning kwa gazeti, wanasema brain drain in political career. I'm thinking to myself, if you had stuck, I'm not saying you, but I'm just using you an example, ungebaki kwa career yako, umalize kampo, maybe you would have added value in your own lane as a professional, and we would have really benefited from your brain, as opposed to letting that die in politics. Unaonaje hivyo, your thought process?
Oh no, you see the thing is,
brain drain, we're losing a lot of professionals, doctors, they need to politics, and then they lose.
Not necessarily. I think also it's how the system is set up, such that if you're entering politics, they have, you know, like you're forced to actually resign. There should be an opportunity for you to go back to your career. You know, that's how the system is set up, you know, which disadvantages you, you know. But the thing is, like for this guy, so when I lost, so you're trying to look for even employment, you know. Unaenda pale hivyo kwa interview, mtu anakuuliza, so for the last 2 years umekuwa ukifanya nini? Unashindwa kushow, you know. So even just opportunities coming your way. No one wants to employ a politician.
Now let's finish this off, because our focus is Papa Festus and the real cost, and just helping Kenyans understand these politicians who we've lied to are our friends will need our support.
Yes.
And what kind of support do they need? What kind of support did you need?
Number one, reach out to your friends who are running for office. You know, check in on them. And even if they don't want to talk to you, literally go to where they are. You know, because sometimes you just want a quiet moment, because you've not had a quiet moment for, especially, let's say 2 years, because I was on the ground for about a year and a half, you know. So sometimes you just want some quiet time. But during that quiet time, you're actually struggling. You're crying, you're not eating, you know, you feel like your world is falling apart. You don't even know where to start from, you know. So reach out to your friends, you know, go hang out with them. Go get them out of the house. Half the time you don't even want to leave the house, because when you step outside, you're looking at people as if they betrayed you, you know. You're just like, in 5 fact, you're the one, you're seeing your billboards, you're seeing your posters everywhere, you know. Be kind, you know. When people are actually going through this, that's why I said it might be looked at as entitlement, but he's just trying to express his pain, right? So be kind to politicians, you know. Expand the space for them, because at times, even the comment that you've just said, these are professionals, right? And at times they might be judged harshly because they are looked at as politicians, and we know like the synonyms associated with politicians, corrupt and all that. And you know your friends are not actually corrupt. You know your friends are trying to actually put themselves out there, because we're talking about value-based leadership, you know. So tomorrow, if Kwambox you're running, I'm like, you're a worthy leader. So if you lose, there's no need why we shouldn't actually expand the space for you, because we're looking at you as a politician.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds. DP Ruto has cried severally. In fact, recently his tears were being judged if they're real tears or they're you know, fake tears. You've been there. Could those be real tears? Understanding the cost of what it takes to be in an election.
I would say they were real tears, and because and I would say that at the backdrop of, we, you know, like, we've not normalized seeing men cry, and seeing men vulnerable, and it's okay for a man to be vulnerable in public, or even in private.
Love it. That is Bina Maseno, Executive Director of Badili Africa. Umejisikia yo maneno. Now, I'd love to see your comments on hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Right now, we're at the top of the hour. It's 9 a.m. Ni washa decide MP wake ni nani. MP wa Kasarani wamesema ni nani? Man like Karauri Ronald.
Congratulations to the brother, mas amefanya campaign noma.
Yeah man, in case you're wondering, huyo nani? Huyo ni ule mwenye ana own SportPesa. Hey, ukiona mse wa SportPesa na mse wa Kerocho wamedecide, hey.
Masiyoze,
makampuni zimepigwa wao.
Wanaweza afford campaign. And we know the complexity of running a campaign.
So lazima
kuna kakitu mazee.
Si lazima. Si Eko Dida amekuja hapa ametuambia kutumia kitu yote.
Different mazee. Hiyo ni different.
What's the difference?
Community and one is like a whole constituency. Senator, do you know what it takes to run for senator?
Bra, unaniambia, you know me how many elections I've covered? Si Meru alichagua msemo mwenye alikuwa na tamak. Si kuna place huko Toto ameshinda na hakuwa na kakiru. There's and I keep saying, na sisitiza na nikiambia wase, hii kitu ukiingia kama umedecide you already know the mammoth task. Kasa hii niamke niseme nataka ku run for governor of Nairobi, by then naeza. Nikijua what muscle I have to make this happen. But kama una plan ati muscle ni ndabrebo wase waingie kwa box yako. Imagine I think Kenyans are smarter than that.
I think we're making progress, to be honest. We're getting to a point where Sarah peke yake ndo zitauza. But for now, dynamics ni normal, Joe. As in transport, you have to pay for your team, my bodyguards, nini. So, like Jala said, very, very prepared.
But there's also this aspect that I'm feeling like a lot of people are missing out on, which is the key thing about running a solid election. The money should never come from your pocket.
That's true.
It should be funded by other people.
Lobbyists,
so first things first, if you're looking to get into an election, I would advise, tafuta wase wenye wanaweza buy into your vision. Waone, you know what, Kwambox, I will put my money behind you. Then ukijua kiti ni how much, because IBC litre kukapio hiyo nini hiyo story how much politicians should spend. How MP peke ndio wali shut down hiyo kitu, walisema today hiyo story.
Yeah, that is true. And actually there's a report that was done and it showed that at a minimum MCA unafaa kuwa na 3 million minimum. Okay, this is a report minimum. MP unafaa kuwa na 18. Okay? 18 million minimum, but then you see the thing with especially when you're a new entrant, not so many people at times believe that you're going to win. You know, because if you look at yourselves, how many politicians did you even buy for posters? Let's just introspect here as ourselves, you know. I invested in 4 politicians. And you see that was based on what I went through and what I wish someone would have done for me. So I was just like, you know what, this one I'm going to buy for them I promise this one I'm going to buy for them posters. So if we introspect, even amongst your friends, how many literally took their time to say, I'm going to fuel your car, I'm actually going to do posters for you, I'm actually going to sit in your strategy team, I'm actually going to take care of the needs, the communication needs for your strategy team, so all that kind of thing, you know. So you find that especially for younger and new aspirants, majority are looking at you as you're young, you still have time. So if someone is already looking at you that way, they're not likely to invest in you.
They're saying that because they, in terms of resources, they're imagining,
so they're just like, no, you know, you still have time, you'll win next time. So you can imagine someone is telling me that.
Because that's what the guy was told. Alembo was 2027.
Yeah.
He said 2027. What? Will I even have money? But he didn't say no. If you listen to the end of the clip, he's like, we'll find out if I have money. Like, he's not closing that door completely because there's something that Jala said, that politics is addictive.
It is, yeah. And half the time, if you, let's say you have the party ticket, is when someone feels like they can invest in you because you have chances. I mean, guys, even Kwambox, you've seen majority of the young people actually went to run as independent because they were actually edged out. They're not given political party tickets,
you know, to see how they'll
and
perform.
majority of the women as well. So you can imagine when you're an independent candidate, again, the perception is you might not win because you don't have the ticket. So then people, at times, they pull back from investing in you, whether it's financially, or just resource-wise, because the perception is you might not necessarily win.
So tukifikiria hivyo, hiyo inamaanisha the people who are most likely to succeed in an election, the way it's set up like this, is a rich old man.
I'm not so sure about an old man.
Why I'm saying this, it's a rich old man because you have to take time to build that, unless kani ya kasi ya kuibiwa, lakini kani ya kuwork lazima ujipatie miaka ka 20 kubuild your wealth. We're talking about 18 million. Mse hiyo ni minimum ya MP. Ya president ilikuwa inafaa kukapiwa at 4 billion.
4 billion.
We're having conversation here where other people have spent more than 7 billion, right, in just the presidency. Now, let's do some math. It costs to be a sitting president, salary ni 1.2.
Salary ni 1.2, and then in a year it's 12 million. In a year it's about 12 million, and then in 5 years, 12 times 5 it's 60 million. Right? Is it?
Yeah.
That is 60 million. 60 million.
60 million na tumeka up at 4 billion.
60 million, and you see that is when he's not even touched his salary. You know, because we are looking at he's not touched his salary. In fact, salary mengia ameyeka kando, right? So 60 million in 5 years, and you're saying the minimum, you know, like he should not surpass 4 billion. So where is he getting the extra money?
Politics, the way it is set up right
where
now,
is he getting the extra money?
Favors an old guy. Yeah, I mean, we can't talk for the ones who steal. We can't put them in the poll. But we're talking about legally, you have to work at least a couple of years, right? 20, 30 years, create that war chest so that you can be able to go. That's where then with that said, then it disenfranchises young people
a lot
and women.
Yes.
Hiyo inamaanisha vijana, ukisikia sasa hizi challenges zenye vijana wanakuwa nayo, tumeona kwanza parties, for example, vijana wengi have been locked out by the parties and have had to go the independent way.
Yes.
But then tunakubali kwamba independent, mtu atakuangalia aseme, chances zako za kuwini very low. So hiyo inamaanisha vijana tunafaa kuget parties zetu.
I mean, why not change the narrative?
Because young people, youth are a constituency in themselves, right? Imagine tukidecide to set up party ya vijana, right?
Tuna volunteer in one way or the other.
Exactly. Wana mobilize up for the different young people that want. Because I mean, you can't tell me that as a guy, like, okay, well, you know, in Nairobi we have very young people who are running, but even to run for office like governor, tuseme niko 30. Natoa hizo do wapi?
Ni tricks.
Unless una push tu mse aende aibe ndio aweze kufanya kitu.
Some billionaire somewhere, a lobbyist. You see, Sheila, and I wanted to bring in that angle for handouts. Because your conversation in handouts, I think it's been demonized. In this sense, ukiangalia dynamics. For example, the brother that called us juzi akituambia kwenda kuvote janini, transport. Imagine, this guy didn't go to vote because of transport. Now, on a rally, if you want him to go and listen to sera zako, na labda kwa field flani 5 kilometers away, you know, this guy expects akifunga busy yake, a trek come up and do the, there's still money at play. And that's what I'm saying.
Let's reverse back to that guy, because polling stations are everywhere. Yeye mwenyewe ndio haku make the opportunity ya ku move himself to a polling station that's closer to him. All polling stations are very near.
They're accessible, but guess what? For example, kuna mtu anaishi Nairobi, Sheila, Nana, polling station yake iko Kisumu.
See, change polling station yake to Nairobi.
It's true, it's fine, but maybe there was an emergency and he can't travel back to Kisumu because one thing we have established is some people just don't have enough money to do certain things, and that's why I'm asking. Kusema kweli, is it a bad thing when your constituents akikuja hapa kwambie ni aje Sheila, tupatie kitu bana, sisi hapa kwa hii village yetu tuko na shida ya mahindi, Is it bad if you come with some foodstuffs nini? Ama unataka tu kuza sera zako uishie and you're not really alive to the fact that the people that you want them to vote for you are suffering.
But here's the thing. What is the role of a leader?
Yes.
Right? What is the role of a leader? Hiyo ndio kitu yenye sisi wa Kenya tunafaa understand. Right? If mimi nikuje. Just to answer your question. Nikuje kwa hiyo area, muniambie mko na njaa. Drought. Sawa. Nitumie 1 million ama 2 million of my money ni wa feed. Right? Is that coming from the benevolence of my heart, or am I making an investment in you people? Right?
I mean, it's hard to tell.
That's the question. So in politics, in elections, should there be that if there are 4 people who are working on serafiti, lakini 3 cannot be able to meet your immediate needs za kukulisha, does it mean the one mwenye akona pesa ndio anafaa kuchukua hiyo kiti?
And you know, the thing is,
it's a crazy one.
Kwa sababu role ya MP ni gani?
Yeah.
Kwenda parliament, kulegislate, kusema watu wangu hapa nyumbani wako na njaa. And how many people are able to access that handout?
But
is it everybody in that village?
Yeah. But do you think raia anajali ati politician anaenda kudebate? Yeye anajua ukirudi hapa home niko na matanga manze.
Ndio kwa sababu tuko hizi shida zenye tuko. Ndio kwa sababu corruption iko pali iko.
And you see, and that is the disadvantage, because you find that at times we don't even understand how politics intersects with our everyday life. How is food political? How is where I stay political? How is the fact that I don't have employment a political issue? You see, such that when a politician is coming to the community, you're debating on the policies, okay, that he's going to make, that are going to change that situation, so that, yes, today you're hungry, but how can you ensure that you have a policy on food security and you have strategies and plans that ensure that we don't starve for the next 5 years?
Because think about it,
the food is just temporary for today, right?
But I'm hungry.
But then, yes, you're hungry, but you're still going to continue being hungry if I don't have ideas and a vision that can move this country forward towards a food secure nation.
All right, I have a question, and I'm going to open the phone lines to MVPs. This is unprecedented, lakini tunafungua phone lines to scale kutoka kwenu. Let's imagine a scenario village yenu mko na njaa, right? Poverty imeshika kushika, and part of the exacerbation is to be a drought. Side kuna drought, right? There are places where we know, for the numbers are showing us are close to 5 million Kenyans wako njaa.
Shocking, man.
Njaa ile yani hamna mbele wala nyuma. Sawa. 4 politicians. Tuseme watatu, sisi watatu. Yes. Mimi, Kev and Bina tunakuja hapo ku campaign, tunataka kwa governor. Right? Tuseme Kev ndio akona pesa. Yeye ndio mtapeli. Sisi tunakuja tu, mi tuseme niko na strategy fiti, lakini Bina anakuanga a girl of the people. Lakini mi niko na strategy. Mi ndio niko na strategy. Mi niko na plan, lakini sina do. Bina, yeye anajulikana hapa, mnampenda. Lakini mhesha hapa ni nani? Ni Kev kwa sababu yako na pesa.
Bazoo.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeye ndio bazoo. Ni nani mnapigia kura?
That's a good one.
Call us up on 0719012700. Na unieleze kwa nini? Kwa sababu remember, Kev anakupatia handout. Yeah. Bina anakupatia vibes, mimi nakupatia sera. Ni nani unapi?
Bina ni mtoto wenu.
Bina, yeye anakuja hapa anasema tialala. Munasema si lazima kupatia kitu yote. Mimi ni hapo nasema people. Mimi nitaenda parliament, negotiate ndio budget kuja hapa tujenge irrigation schemes, it will take us 10 years.
Anaelewa climate change.
Nita make sure mkinipatia the first year hakuna kitu ndawapatia, tuseme tu kweli. Second year hakuna kitu itakuja hapo, ndio sasa labda tutajenga foundation hiyo dam, right?
Fundraise bado resources.
Na pia nataka nyinyi mtoe pesa zenu, kila mtu atoe 1 bob ndio tuweze kuwa na transport ni munipeleke parliament. Ni nani mnapigia kura na kwa nini?
Ndio tukipanda miniazi.
Start your day the MVP way, where you are the MVP, no negative vibes.
Hello, this is Morning Vibes. Tunaongea na nani? Remember, tupigie simu on 0719012700. We are in studio with Bina Maseno. Leo tunaongea juu ya the cost of losing an election. Na tumeongea juu ya history ya handouts kwa sababu from different parts we see it differently. But tumekupatia scenario of 3 politicians, myself, Kev and Bina. Bina ni msee wa hiyo area mnampenda. Kev ni msee mwenye akona doa na kuja na mwaga. Mimi ndio niko na ideas ya how we are going to vote. Who will you listen to, Paulo?
Oda.
Tuambie.
Hiyo scenario mimi naweza sema si lazima tuko na doa ndio tukuchague. na sira kuna depend na venye unakuja kwa ground kutafuta hiyo kura, venye unaongea na watu wakikusikiza wakipenda ni fiti. Lakini sio na doa panda like sasa tutaweza kaniditega. Ni mtu kama akikuja boy gani anachafua watu kuliko hata governor, kuliko hadi yani kuliko kila msee. Lakini mmoja sasa mwenye amewin MP for now alikuwa naita watu kwa mkutano, wanakuja more than 50, anasema niko nimeita watu wote, niko nimeita watu kao hivi. Yohana kakitu tunaona. Bila lazima atakuwa kakitu ati ndio watu kuchagua. Ndio unaongea na watu yeye na nini naangalia.
Okay. Lakini bado utatuambia ni nani utachagua. So Keva ko out.
Keva ko out.
So mimi na Bina ni popular. Yeye yuko popular tu kwa ground lakini ana sera. Alafu kuna mimi nakuja tu hapo na sera pekee.
Tunasikiza masera zenye uko nazo. Hizo hizo zenye unataka kutufanyia. Sasa tuna decide sio tu must ati kushidokisha uto nini hapana.
I gotta let you go. You have to make a decision who you're going to vote for and why. Let's cross over to Thika. Mama Mish.
Yeah, Kombo Senten.
Wagwan.
Mimi nasema niko na Kombo. Juu sana ni ukienda pande ya pesa. Hiyo politician sana. Naona lakini wasela atakuja chukua maoni yenu na ndio atapeleka kule kwa bunge. Unaona?
Haya, sasa sikiza Mama Mish, kuna wase wengi wako na sera lakini they are not making it kwa sababu wachana na pesa. Kuna another angle nimeweka ya popularity. Msee mnamjua hapo kwa base, hata mnamjua na nickname ka 10 lakini hakwangi na sera. Lakini kuna moja hapo kuna sera. All right. Amejikata. I think they talk pesa yake ili end because those are the three dynamics, right? Kuna moja kuna pesa, kuna mwingine tu kuna vibes. Yani mnampenda tu, yani mnampenda. Yani mnampenda tu.
Unajua pesa inamaanisha nini bebe? Na handle hizo shida. Alienda Gikosh. Alienda pale na matrakta. He's handling your immediate needs. Alikuwa anatoa hizo matakataka.
Aliborrow from nani?
From Sonko. Na hiyo strategy ya Sonko na Jelly work. Him is telling you guys, I have my rescue team. Ndio niko kwa campaign trail, but wangapi wako na matanga hapa? Anapeleka hizo
But you know,
anapata makura.
But you know also, the thing is, just introducing a bit of a dynamic is the fact that, so at Badili Africa, we were talking to citizens, because tunonganga na mama wa chama wenye na mobilize politicians, right? We're like, wewe mbono utachagua yu politician. And I remember when we brought in key political mobilizers, kuna huyu mama alikuwa anasema, mimi lazima nikufe na huyu senator because I'm promise bursary for all my kids. Na senator, siya anapeananga bursary. You see what I mean? So someone can come to the community and ongea strategies zenye haziko kwa mandate yake. And because you see citizens also, if you don't have an understanding of the different mandates of the elective position, then you buy into grand promises from someone who will never deliver. So now kwa Mboksa atakujapo hivyo, first of all, akona hizi grand promises. You're like, me, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do this for you.
Days.
Yet you find it's not within your mandate. You don't even have the resources. When you get in there, you know, your role is just to legislate as an MP. But you see, you already made all these grand promises so you can actually get the votes. So like for this mobilizer who was telling us, mi lazima nikufera yu senator because amesema for my 3 kids, atanipatia basari mpaka wamalize shule. You see what I mean?
It's so visible. Like tunaona.
Yeah, so yasha kwambia hata kupromise. You know, and then we also saw politicians even going into the citizens' homes. Mtu amekuja mpaka kwa nyumba yako for the first time anakwambia, then you're like, you know, if they can even come to my own home. So we also have a role, you know, to educate ourselves. What are the mandates of these different leaders who are coming to ask for votes? Because that helps you have a quality conversation. You're like, lakini Kev, ni ukweli, that's a very, very, very good plan. But how are you even going to finance that plan? Because this is not within your mandate. How are you going to do it? Where are you going to get the resources? Because your mandate is this and this, you know. So I think we also lack, you know, knowledge and also understanding that can help us have a very quality conversation with someone who's coming to actually ask us for vote. And it cuts across, you know, even if a politician comes here, even as a middle class when you're out there, you know, what kind of conversation are you having with this politician who wants you to support them?
Okay. Now guys, we're going to end this conversation here. Very hot and I hope hapo mtaani maze pia mnaendeleza hizi conversation kwa sababu ni Kenya yetu na hizi ndio sisi kama the electorate we also play a huge part. We had a chance to make a statement. Some places have made a loud statement, some places have made an even louder statement, but at the end of the day the statement has been made by Kenyans for Kenya by Kenyans. Now I'm going to give you a chance. Of course, we'll be speaking with Bina Maseno from Badili Africa. Umesikia leo tulikuwa tunaongea juu ya the real cost of losing an election. Now the leaders are going to be announced. Now there's nothing we can do. We are at this juncture. We are going to be given the results. We are going to be given people who are going to serve us for the next 5 years. And keyword Kenyans, hao waheshwa wamekuja ku. Sisi ndio waheshimiwa, wao ndio watumwa, wanatutumikia. How can we hold these leaders accountable? As in, sawa alikuja hapa kanifanyia pararira for a year and a half sasa ameingia huko ndani. Sasa nita kwa sababu one key thing yenye Kenya ushinda kutuambia, huyu MCA tangu nimpigie kura, huyo governor tangu nimpigie kura, sijai muona tena. Sasa nimemwona after 5 years. So mimi kama Kenya naweza hold your leader account. Job yangu sasa ni gani?
Thank you so much. First of all, I always tell the citizens that we are interacting with, even at Badili Africa and even in my personal capacity, that our work actually begins after we voted, because majority of us feel like I have already voted, now I have to wait for another 5 years. Our work begins after we voted. That's when our work begins in terms of holding these leaders accountable, in terms of us interrogating their manifesto, interrogating their plans, attending public participation forums, because majority of us as well, we don't attend these forums because that is where you're debating about their priorities. That is where you have an opportunity to engage with them and they're able to tell you, this is how I intend to develop this community. These are my plans. The CIDP plans, they're out there. Educate yourself, read about them so that when you go to these public participation forums, you actually have an idea and you're able to ask constructive questions, but you're also able to just engage in a quality dialogue. You're like, okay, fine, these are the plans. Because also the disadvantage is for citizens, at times when we are going to these forums, you find you've not interrogated those plans, you've not even gone through the budget documents, and it's actually structured that way to exclude us. Because you see a Mama Mboga, if you've gone in there, budget ya 100 million, unajua hata jai ana 100 million, so unashindwa hii pesa ni mob sana, tunaanzia wapi? And then in some spaces they actually announce public participation forum a day too. So me na wewe tuko kazi. So I always say it's actually structured that way to exclude us. But take advantage. When you hear there's a public participation forum, show up. Amka. Show up. No singoja kupatiwa fare ndio uende ku-engage. Any agenda yenye ita affect your next 5 years. And it will determine whether you're going to have services, where you stay.
Everything. Speaking of accountability, how do you okay, wewe umecheki. Sasa assuming sisi ni mavijana tuko kwa hapo hivyo kwa crowd, how do I know this is a dangerous leader? What's the red flag? How should I say hapana na ako hapo na dance nini? I mean, because I feel like it's hard for youth also to tell when when our leader is being hapo charismatic on stage, wanacheza nini, they're doing all these theatrics. How do you know this is a dangerous trait of a leader?
When they don't have an agenda, they don't have a vision. They actually don't even understand their role, the role of the office they're actually seeking, right? And then number 2, let's organize debates where we actually call them to come and tell us what their agenda is. Then you'll realize this particular person doesn't even understand what they want to do for the citizen, because there's only so much you can say in a rally. There's only so much you can say. So in a rally you just make noise, but when you have like a sit down, you're able to actually ask questions. How do you intend to move this community from where it is? How do you intend to develop this particular community? Kama hana agenda, mbona unamweka hapo?
Exactly. Kama hana agenda ni mbona. Na so umesikia wa Kenya kazi yetu inaanza as soon as washa hapa kuingia ofisi. Sasa na sisi hapa hapo tunakuangalia. Tunataka kuwatch. Ati unakula tutakuchapa. Unakula tutakuchapa. Lakini we must also engage kwa public participation. Na tutawaambia right on Morning Vibes how public participation. We're going to have a whole session hapa kwa Mjadala speaking about public participation na kwa nini ni muhimu ku take part in that. Bina, thank you so much for making time to be here with us. Na kuna wasee wanasema labda wanataka kuongea na wewe kwa mtandao. What's your handle?
My handle is at Bina Maseno on Twitter, at Bina Maseno on Instagram, at Bina Maseno on Facebook, and then our handles at Badili Africa. If you want to engage, get to know more how you can engage as a citizen. It's on Twitter, it's Badili_A, Instagram Badili_A, and on Facebook, Badili Africa. And my last statement: the most important office in this country is not the office of the president, of the senator, or the governor, or the women rep, or the MCA.
Tell them.
The most important office in this country is the office of the citizen. So occupy your office fully.
Finally, before you step out, because I'm gonna update here, Festus, the man who's made our conversation, given us perspective. Are you ever gonna run again?
Yes.
Yes.
I will.
Now, do you want to know what Festus said about running again? This is what he said.
And up to now, there are some people texting me and calling me. Oh, nitumie 50, nitumie so moja, I voted for you. Where? No. You people siasa ni mbaya. I feel like quitting kabisa. Hata Kiraito mwenyewe umekataa kuchagua yeye. Kiraito has done a lot. You people no.
You people.
Well,
you people, how do you
ameweka
feel?
open up. Do you think he's going to run again? From what he said?
For me, I always say, know your why.
Yes or no?
Know your why.
From what he's saying?
No.
Okay. Kevin?
Umse hata kirana atapata.
Umse hata rantena maze.
This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.